Welcome back to Tetewatha Partyline Talk Show. I'm your host, Len Stacy, and my co-host today is Arlene Jacobs, and we're going to ask our second candidate, Bobby Patton, a bunch of questions, and he better do some good stuff here because he knows a lot of this, or at least we think he knows, right, Arlene?
He knows it.
Yeah, okay. Right. Let's not give him too much.
I don't know, Arlene started to make me nervous.
Well, I guess to start off, Bobby, just introduce yourself, who you are, so our listeners know. I mean, most people know you, but just in case.
Well, I am Robert Patton Jr. They call me Bobby. My daughter is Amy Lee Patton. My mom and dad is Robert and Beverly Patton. And grandfather of 4. Been here all my life. Worked all over for the community as best as I can in all different levels. And that's it.
Okay.
Okay, Bobby, why are you running for this position in this second by-election?
The second one, holy smokes.
Isn't that something?
Well, in the first one I was asked to run, but I didn't think I was prepared. You know, there was a lot of stuff that happened in my life, and, you know, the loss of my mom and very close friend and an aunt. And I didn't think I was mentally prepared for it, and I needed some time. The reason why I'm running now is I see a lot of the challenges that the council table is facing. I know there's a lot of experience that they will need. You know, I do have experience from being a peacekeeper for 20 plus years, and, you know, I have been sitting there for 6 years. And I feel that the more knowledge and the more experience that can be brought to the table is going to help the table, you know, to benefit. Because you need really, when you sit there, you need a lot of constructive discussion to bring an issue forward, or raise an issue, or how to, you know, to debate it and try to get the best results possible. And with my background, I feel that I can bring that forward and help out the table, but more so the people of Kahnawake, because there's a lot of people in the town that they want their voice to be heard, and they need to be, you know, I feel that I can give them that voice, but also I'm that ear that they can, you know, they can lean on, the shoulder they can lean on, and they can bring their concerns to me, because I've done that in the past, and I've tried to do my best to bring it forward to the table to have that discussion. And I think that is needed for the people of Kahnawake.
In your opinion, what are the main issues our community is currently facing? And stick to a few.
I mean, we have so many issues right now. It's like you read the papers. We have the threat of the governments on many, many levels. You know, this S3 issue is one of the major threats that we're under attack, because if we don't fight it, I mean, we know Gus has been like steadfast on this issue, and many other community members, because I feel that the government is trying to wipe away the First Nations as easily as they can with this S3, because they're creating more natives. And I feel like a lot of people don't really understand the threat that is out there because of this S3 law. I have friends right across the country, right across Canada, from BC to Newfoundland, and we're a big community. But imagine if we're going to get the numbers that, 8,000 more natives that are going to be brought into the community.
They said upwards of 60,000 possibly.
Sorry, 60,000.
Yeah.
But there's also other First Nations across Canada that are maybe only 800 strong on their community, but yet they're going to get maybe 15,000, 20,000 more that are going to be added. And that's the threat, because once these people come into here, we're going to be nobody anymore. The system that we have in place, the people that we have in place, what happens if we bring those 60,000 people in this community? We're going to lose who we are. We're going to lose the fundamental rights that we are. We're going to lose it. So we need to fight it, you know? That's one of the biggest threats right now out there. And, you know, the recognition of our jurisdiction, that's one of the biggest issues. We need the recognition of jurisdiction, because we're fighting the outside governments. We're fighting our own people, because if we don't have our jurisdiction set up here with our Justice Act or anything, we're gonna fall victim to the outside, because we don't have it here. The courts are gonna make the judgment on us. We're gonna have outsiders judging on us. regardless how much we fight amongst each other, we need to come to one mind. You know, we've been hearing this for many, many years. I hear my grandmother, Josie Patton, my grandfather, John Patton, we used to talk about coming to one mind. I believe that was Kahnawake, coming to one mind. They used to start a group at that time, bringing people together. Without that, we're going to fight each other and the government's just going to look at us. But we need to bring everybody together. And that jurisdiction is much needed, because if we don't have it, we're always going to be under the thumb of the outside governments.
Okay.
Then we're facing the cannabis issue. That's like from sitting at the table before, going through the laws and going through everything with the law, with the cannabis issue. Cannabis is a hard issue because it has that stigma of being really bad. As a police officer, I was, arresting people for it. And we would see the problems with it. People would say it's the gateway drug. But as I educated myself in some more, it's not the gateway drug. There is good things that are coming from it. I've seen people personally that have suffered from arthritis or many other sicknesses that this would that has helped them, give them a second chance on life type of thing. And with this law that needs to be in place, we're going to be called the white man's law or whatever. But if we don't, again, it goes out to the jurisdiction of the outside that's going to dictate to us. So we need to create this, but we also need to have regulations and things that need to be put in place to have controls so nobody's going to be infected. Because if you don't put controls in there, there's still the black market. In the black market, you don't know what you're getting. You're going to get fentanyl or the other type of drug that's lacing these type of drugs with it. So we need to put regulations in place to understand and make sure that whatever's being given to the public consumption is safe. Because I've been worked on the road and seen what the dangers of laced contaminated marijuana does to an individual. We laugh about cannabis is like in drugs and stuff. Cannabis is small. We have all the other opioids and all the other drugs that are a major issue that people always say the peacekeepers never do nothing. But the peacekeepers fight it on a daily basis. I mean, I've personally been seized tons of different types of drugs out there. But you know what? When we go to a house fight or a different type of issue, you're always lucky if you run into someone that's high on marijuana, because all they want to do is, okay, you want to go back, they just want to eat pizza. But if you get all these other drugs, they want to do dangerous things, not just to the officers, but to themselves and to their families, and it's tearing families apart. So maybe if we come together, we put this in place, and it's going to be beneficial for the community in many ways. Some people are going to say you're just trying to promote it. I am not promoting it. I saw it firsthand and saw the dangers and the best part of it. So I've seen it personally on different levels.
Okay.
So, Bobby, what are your goals if you're successful in this bid for the by-election? As you mentioned, you were on council for 2 terms before, so you were on 6 years, so you know the dynamics at the table. So what are your goals this time?
Well, we're a year and a half in. It's going to be predetermined what we have to, what you're going to be giving. Many people have asked, what platform are you going to take? Well, it's pretty hard to take a platform right now because you're, whatever the files that were left is probably what you're going to take over. Mm-hmm. But again, it goes about corporate knowledge. The knowledge that I've gained over the 6 years working with all the other different chiefs, and I've learned so much from all of them. And they've showed me directions. They've given me knowledge. But if I could get back and maybe work with the individuals, like on public safety, maybe with the cannabis working group, I don't know. But I've been through a lot of the files and have the understanding that I can almost hit the ground running to help out or to just take over, and that's what I think what the community needs is not someone that's going to have to learn the ropes for a year and a half and they're going to be like, no offense to anybody that's running, but the problem is that it's a big machine that's in operation and it's moving forward, and you need someone that can jump right in and start moving forward along with the rest of the team, with all the chiefs and all the issues that are at hand, and have the understanding to carry it forward. Because we got a year and a half, and it's like, how do you train somebody in a year and a half, or to send somebody out to do the job that needs to be done? Because if you do that, then you're going to get someone that does not know. Then we know how critical our community can be, you know, and that's why experience is a big factor.
Also, it's to make the major decisions at the table. This person will get at the table and have to make a decision, and their knowledge, or some people's knowledge, are not what it should be.
No, and
to sit at that table.
People think, and you hear it every day, is like people want to just, I want to get the council job. It's an easy job, and you know they
good money.
But people do not know the sacrifices each individual makes to sit at that table, the criticism they make every day to sit at that table. I mean, they talk about you have to have your skin 4 layers thick.
It's
I
7
think
layers.
You need about 7 layers or even more, because they're under the gun every day. They're in the social media every day, getting crucified sometimes because, you know, when a decision's made, that individual has to really give it a big thought, and you got to understand that you got to be sure of your decision. Sometimes you doubt your decision, but that's why this discussion needs to happen, and you got to lead into this discussion to understand what the whole issue is really about. So you need someone that's going to be strong, that's going to be able to make that decision, and that's going to be able to take that discussion with the others to come up with a good one mind and one decision. And with that, you need good discussion.
Okay, Bobby, we have about 30 seconds or so. So your final thing. This went really quick.
It really did.
Really quick. What's the thing you want to encourage to the listeners for voting?
Don't vote for popularity. Vote for someone that has the experience. Because when you're sitting at that table, experience is what you need. You need a good sound mind, a person that's going to speak your voice, and a person that is also going to listen to you as an individual, but also listen to the community as a whole. That's what you need to vote for. It's not about being popular. It's about being concerned and also being knowledgeable.
Okay. Anything else, Arlene? You got time for one quick one.
One more question?
Quick one, yeah.
Okay, the relationship between the MCK and the Longhouse, how would you advance that? How would you make it better? How would you bring the two together?
Well,
short.
Being on council for 6 years, I've been part of it. We've tried. The thing is, we need to have more constructive meetings. I mean, we've tried. It seems it always just falls apart. But I mean, we're all the same family, you know. We got to stop calling each other down. I mean, I've met some traditional people because I'm in Longhouse. They would tell me, you're out of the circle. I go see my uncle, who's a well-respected traditional person. He always would tell me, yes, you're out of the circle. He was very clear about it. You're out of the circle. He says, because our people put you out of that circle being for the MCK, because we need people out of that circle to protect our circle. And he's a very valued individual and I'm valued because in many ways he's taught me. My grandmother, I come here, I'm not about MCK. You know, I always keep an open mind, even as a police officer, because that's what we need to have. Once you start closing it, you're totally traditional, you're totally MCK, or you're total whatever, Catholic, then we're never going to succeed. We need to come together under one mind, one family, and start thinking together, not against each other. Take the hats off. You sit at that table, you're one person. We're a family. Let's deal with it.
Thank you, Bobby. On that note, good luck. Wishing you all the best. And we'll take a break and we'll be right back.
Thank you.